down the street at breakneck speed. I screamed and pushed all the buttons, but it was useless. The remote control wasn't working. The platform seemed to be controlled by someone else. I drove through a puddle and got splashed from head to toe with mud. My makeup was ruined. Then the platform dragged me through a hedge, which ruined my outfit and hair. I was about to end up in the middle of the road. Help! I squeezed my eyes shut in fear. My heart leapt into my throat. But at that very last moment, some guy got onto the platform and picked me up and jumped off to the side of the road. The hoverboard fell into a ditch. Are you okay? My savior's name was Anthony. He was so handsome, my heart skipped a beat. Are you just going to stare without even thanking me? Ugh, if his head got any bigger, it would explode like a balloon. I mumbled something and immediately ran home to change my clothes. The last thing I wanted was for one of my friends to see me like that. I cleaned up and went back to the party. Something still bothered me though. Had Sally and Teddy messed with the remote control to get back at me? The party was awesome and I finally breathed a sigh of relief and let loose. Then, the next morning, Anthony suddenly showed up at my place. Remember me? I saved you, and now you owe me. Okay, how much do you want for your help? Oh no, Whitney. You're not going to get off that easy. I want you to fulfill my 3 wishes. Are you nuts? I'm not a magic genie. Take the money and get lost before I call security. But Anthony didn't back down. He smirked and showed me a video on his phone of me screeching as I flew on the carpet. Either you agree to my terms or your friends will see this video. The nerve of him! He got blackmail materials before saving me. I couldn't risk my reputation, so I agreed to play ball. As a first wish, he demanded I come to his house and clean up there like some sort of maid. I couldn't figure out why Anthony was doing it. It would have just been much easier if he took my money, but arguing was pointless. Soon we arrived at his place. Some kids ran up to Anthony as soon as they saw us. Brother's back! Is this your fiancée? She's so pretty. No, this is Whitney, our new maid. She's going to clean our house today. The kids went back to playing, and Anthony explained that he was temporarily looking after his siblings. I wasn't great with kids, so I wanted to finish cleaning up and get out of there as soon as possible. Soon, there wasn't even a speck of dust in their house. I'd never worked so hard in my life and felt a little proud of myself. I walked into the kitchen for just a second to tell Anthony I was done. However, when we walked back into the living room, it was already a complete mess again. Toys were scattered everywhere, and the insufferable brats were smearing paint and their boogers all over the walls. Is this the best you can do? Whitney, try harder. I had to do it all over again because of those damn kids. I was beside myself with anger. They were trying my patience. By the evening, I was so tired I didn't even want to hang out with my friends or party. In the end, I decided to lie and told them it was my spa day. Anthony's second wish turned out to be even worse than the first. He asked me to pretend to be his girlfriend and eat dinner with him and the kids at a restaurant. My ex-girlfriend works there and I want to make her jealous. He reminded me about the video he'd filmed once again. I gritted my teeth but had to agree. We came to the most expensive restaurant in the city. I often ate there with my friends. The kids had no table manners to speak of, and Anthony couldn't care less about etiquette. He didn't even pull out the chair for me. Can you imagine? Okay, show me who your ex is and I'll make her jealous. That waitress over there. When the girl came to take our order, I pointedly flirted with Anthony. Strangely, his ex acted like she'd never seen him before. Soon, we were served delicious seafood dishes. The children started whining and said that they wouldn't eat them. We want cheeseburgers and fries! After that, they started a food fight. I wanted to sink through the floor. To add insult to injury, the next moment my friends walked into the restaurant. Dang it, why now? I quickly hid under the table and sat there until Anthony and his siblings had finished dinner. Anthony looked under the table and burst out laughing. You care about what other people think of you so much. It's hilarious. Oh right, pay the bill. We can't afford eating in such a fancy place. I was fed up with his attitude. Hoping to cool off, I decided to walk home. On the way there, I bumped into Sally and Teddy. Now they lived in their decrepit car and I couldn't help but gloat. Serves you right. You shouldn't have tricked my dad and broken the remote control. My mother and stepbrother looked at each other in surprise and said that they hadn't done that. I saw you hanging out with that one guy though. You should stay away from him. He's a real crook. Anthony was clearly a piece of work and enjoyed tormenting me, but I wouldn't call him a crook. He was sweet and looked after his siblings. Besides, he had such beautiful eyes. Okay, enough of that. Forget I said that. I couldn't fall in love with that rude moron. I ignored my stepbrother's words and walked past him. A few days later, Anthony called me and said it was time for me to fulfill his last wish. I'm sick, and I need you to look after me and my siblings. And you'll delete the video after that? I promise. I wasn't used to playing nurse, but to be honest, I enjoyed it. First, I cooked a turkey for us. However, it was so terrible no one dared taste it. So I ordered some food and we spent the evening watching Harry Potter. When the children started yawning, I read them a bedtime story and put them to bed. Whitney, you're so good. Please marry Anthony. Sure, sweetheart. Go to sleep. Anthony said he was feeling much better and I could go. I deleted the video. You don't owe me anything anymore. We awkwardly said goodbye to each other and life went back to normal. I was surrounded by luxury once again. To my surprise, I soon realized that hanging out with my posh friends no longer brought me any joy. They only ever talked about money, clothes, and expensive cars. We never had food fights. I missed those obnoxious kids and their older brothers, so one day, I bought a huge pizza and came over to their place. Whitney, what are you doing here? I was just passing by. Is that so? Okay, come on in. Hey kids, we have guests. Yay, Whitney's here! While the kids were eating pizza, Anthony asked me why I was really there. To be honest, being rich no longer makes me as happy as it used to. Well, you can invest in charity. That would be better than buying clothes you don't even need. He told me about a foundation that helped children. This piqued my interest. I gave Anthony a large sum of money and asked him to donate it for me. I even thought we could start over. But that very next day, he broke off all contact with me. Anthony didn't even answer his phone, and when I came to his house, neither he nor his siblings were there. What the heck? Did he trick me to get hands on my money? I couldn't believe he'd stab me in the back like that. Was Teddy right? Could Anthony be a petty crook? He must have messed with the remote control to then save me, gain my trust, and scam me. I came to Teddy and Sally and told them I had been tricked. They tried to comfort me. We did warn you about him. Jeez, you thought we were bad people, but in the end, you were deceived by a guy you blindly trusted. I was apparently a terrible judge of character. I came to the police and filed a report on Anthony. The cops promised to find him and get my money back. After that, I asked Dad to give Sally another chance. I was wrong about her. She seems to really love you. Dad listened to me and soon life went back to normal. I had a big and loving family again. After a while, the cops called me and said they'd caught Anthony. He was at the police station, but he hadn't confessed to scamming anyone yet. I went there to look into his beautiful but lying eyes. What a great plan, Anthony. You saved me, charmed me using kids, and lied about a charity to get my money. Bravo. Do you hear yourself? I sent your money to the charity, and I didn't keep a cent for myself. Then he told me he had saved me, and then asked me to fulfill his 3 wishes like I was a genie. You were so arrogant. I wanted to teach you a lesson and avenge my relative who suffered because of you, but then I realized you were a good person and gave up on those plans. I hadn't run away with your money. The kids and I just moved back into my old apartment. You're sure good at talking. It's a shame I don't believe a word you're saying. The cops will deal with you. Goodbye. I went back home with my head held high and tried to forget Anthony. Soon something terrible happened. Dad fell ill and was admitted to the hospital. The doctors told us to prepare for the worst. I visited him every day and sat by his bedside. Meanwhile, my stepmother and Teddy always found excuses not to come to the hospital. That drove me up the wall, but I couldn't muster the energy to teach him a lesson. All I wanted was for Dad to be okay. Daddy, you are strong. I know you will pull through. Thank you, sweetie. I went out into the hallway to buy some food and accidentally looked into another ward. Imagine my shock when I saw Anthony's siblings there. They were apparently visiting their mother. My eyes bugged out when I realized their mom was Eleanor, our former housekeeper. I came up to the woman and asked her what she was doing there. When I was fired, my health suffered and I had to be hospitalized. My nephew Anthony has been looking after my children ever since. He was spitting mad when he found out I lost my job because of you and vowed to teach you a lesson. I tried my best to dissuade him. I hope he didn't hurt you. He's been arrested for something, so there's no one who can look after the kids right now. Oh, so Anthony hadn't been lying? I wasn't sure he hadn't stolen my money, though. I left the hospital and headed back home. Dozens of journalists were waiting for me there. They wanted to interview me about my generous donation to a charity. Was everything Anthony said true? He hadn't kept any money for himself and donated everything to charity instead. What a good guy. I quickly got rid of the journalist and was about to go to the police station to save Anthony, but then I accidentally overheard my stepmother and Teddy talking. They were happy my dad was sick. Those scumbags were already splitting his inheritance. The old man is going to kick the bucket soon, and all his money will go into our pockets. All that's left to do is get rid of Whitney. Well, your idea with the remote control was brilliant. I'm sure you'll think of something even better next. I felt like I'd been doused with icy water. How could anyone be so terrible and cruel? I rushed to the hospital to tell Dad the truth about my stepmother and stepbrother. I was afraid he wouldn't believe me, but to my surprise, he said he already knew everything and showed me a video from the surveillance cameras in our house. I had been secretly watching Sally and Teddy this whole time and heard everything they said. My illness was just a test to see who loved me and who was using me for my money. I'm really glad you passed it, Whitney, and I'm glad you're healthy. After that, he came back home and threw my stepmother and her son out, this time for good. Meanwhile, I went to the police station, explained the situation to the cops there, and cleared Anthony of all charges. After a while, I told Dad I was the one who scratched his car. He immediately hired Eleanor back. That day, I saw Anthony in the park and came up to him to make up. I've changed a lot. If you haven't deleted that video, you can post it. I don't care what my former friends think anymore. Hanging out with you was fun, though. I miss you. The kids miss you too, and they aren't the only ones. He leaned down to kiss me, but then those naughty kids threw their arms around us and knocked us to the ground. Yay, Whitney's back! Let's go eat ice cream! No, let's go to the amusement park first! I was happier than ever as we hugged and laughed together.